Okay, so now I am going to show you guys how I made my famous 7 hours sweet and smoky collard greens. Using the main ingredient that I use in making these are the Tabitha Brown like sweet, like smoky seasoning. That is one of the main ingredients in these wings. So in the slow cooker right now, I first cooked the smoked turkey, and so it's a smoked turkey wing and a smoked turkey leg. No preference on the style, but that is just what I like to use. And then I season the meat itself with the like sweet, like smoky, all-purpose seasoning from the Tabitha Brown collection. It is so good. Some may ask why, but you season it because it further enhances the meat. I chopped up an onion, stuck that in there. Now you see me washing the greens because we must wash the greens. Now I didn't cut these greens, y'all. It's the bag greens that I got from Giant. I know it says pre-wash, but I'm black and we still gonna go ahead and wash those greens. So put my first layer in the crock pot over top of the smoked meat. I let the meat smoke by itself and added a little broth and onion in it. And so it cooked for 3 hours on high. Now I turned it down, I put it on low, and I added my first layer of collards. You see the meat at the bottom there, already mostly done. And so now we went ahead and added the greens to the top, cooked on low for about 4 hours of preparation time. I am adding a little bit more chicken broth to the greens itself. And then here we go with my seasoning. The like sweet, like smoky seasoning, Tabitha Brown. And we're going to go ahead and season the actual greens this time with the seasoning. I also added some cinnamon butter on top, and so that is what you all see right there on the top. And just closing the top, and as the butter, it will melt, and it will melt into the rest of the collard greens. The collard greens over time will shrink and melt. And so I typically come back every hour and add another layer of greens, right? Once we've had the shrinkage, it creates room for more. And so I do them layer by layer just at the top of the hour. I did these on Wednesday, November the 26th. I was working, and so I was working from home that day. So I just set an alarm to go upstairs at the top of the hour every hour and add my new layer. With each layer comes the the cinnamon butter, so adding more cinnamon butter to each layer, and then a little bit more of the sweet like smoky like seasoning for Tabitha Brown. And this time on top of layer number 2 is a half a shot of apple cider vinegar. So added that and let that sit. And then every time I open it, it's fun to just smell. You can start to smell all of the aromas blending, right? That apple cider vinegar definitely has a nice smell to it with the cinnamon butter, that smoky smell from the seasoning, and now adding some brown sugar to the mix as well. So at this point, it's been about 3 hours or so. And so you can start to see how the greens have progressed. They've cooked. I just added my last shot of apple cider vinegar. And now you start to see over time how the greens have evolved and looked. This is 7 hours later, approximately, from the time that we first put the smoked turkey in to the time that we added the greens layer by layer by layer. So it was about 2 hours for the meat, and then about 4.5 to 5 hours or so for the greens itself. And now everything has blended. The meat, baby, it came right off the bone, as you can see, and I was able to just mix it all in together. It tastes so good. The thing with collards, though, I don't eat them the same day. We'll let them sit overnight, and then by the time tomorrow rolls around for Thanksgiving, mm, 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 mm. So, so good. So remember, this was my sweet and smoky collard greens using Tabitha Brown's like sweet, like smoky as the main ingredient of the seasoning. Hope you guys enjoy. Try it yourself. Drop down in the comments and let me know how your greens came out. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.